Hello you lot, this is KeefCooks. I'm Keith, and today I'm going to do something sweet and lovely. I'm going to make vanilla slice. Before we start, a couple of shout outs for people who have very wisely bought KeefCooks mugs. Yes! We've got I Loves Chicken, and we've got Robert Shepherd. There are more, but they haven't told me who they are, so anyway. Don't forget, if you want one, it's on the shelf underneath the video. Right, I had a request to do this probably over a year ago from Rodula Doulos, and they said Australian vanilla slice. Now, I've been scouring the internet for recipes, and about half of them say New Zealand or Kiwi vanilla slice, so I am not getting involved in that. You can argue about it below the line, feel free, but don't drag me into it. Anyway, it looks delicious. So, if you enjoy this video, give it a like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, ring a ding ding, etc. And let's get on with it. Vanilla slice from wherever it comes from. Yes. Now, in theory, this should be fairly straightforward. All it is a layer of puff pastry at the bottom, and then a thick chunk of set custard, and then another layer of puff pastry on top. As you may know, I'm terrified of making custard. It nearly always goes wrong for me. But we keep on trying, don't we? Yes. I'm not terrified of making puff pastry, but I have actually still bought it. In fact, I got two packs because I wasn't sure how much I would use, but it turns out that's 375 grams, and that's plenty because I'm going to use this as my sort of baking tin. So that's enough to fill that and a bit left over. So that will go in the freezer. It does freeze very well, this stuff, so always useful to have some around. Okay, we need to bake the pastry. So I want the oven preheating to 150 degrees Celsius for a fan oven, convection oven. That's 170 for a normal one, and that's gas 3. I'm going to cut the pastry in half, and you just want to stab it a little bit all over with a fork. This stops it from puffing up too much. So I've got a baking sheet. I want some greaseproof paper. Oh look, here's some. Cheapskate. So we'll put that on a baking sheet. We'll pop some more greaseproof paper on top of that, just in case there's anything nasty lurking on the bottom of this one. We'll pop that one on top, and then this one in here. And this will be the top of the slices, so it doesn't matter if that puffs up quite a bit, but we don't want the base to puff up too much. So that goes in the oven for 20 minutes. Time's up, so let's get the pastry out the oven. Oh yeah, that's pretty. Okay, that's probably alright. So that just needs to sit around, cool down completely before we use it. Now we need to make the custard. I'm not scared. Now, ingredients for the custard. I've got 600 ml of a mix of cream and milk. I've got the yolks of 6 eggs. I've got 50 grams of caster sugar, that's powdered sugar. This happens to be golden, but ordinary white is fine. And 40 grams of cornstarch, corn flour. Also 100 grams of cold butter and a teaspoon of vanilla bean paste. Yum yum yum! Right, I'm separating my eggs, and I'm using 3 bowls because, well, it's just like insurance in case you break a yolk. Oh! I'm supposed to be pouring the white into this bowl and then transfer it into that one because we don't want to get any egg yolk in the egg white. So let's engage brain and see if we can do this right this time. Okay, egg white in the blue bowl, and then the yolk in the fancy bowl, and then transfer the white into the other blue bowl. Yes! I'm going to heat the milk and the cream in the microwave. until it's hot but not boiling. And we just mix the sugar and the corn flour together in a heat-proof bowl. Now we add the egg yolks. Now I'm whisking in about a cupful of the cream and milk mixture. Then we'll add the vanilla bean paste. You can use vanilla extract if you want, or actual vanilla pods if you're wealthy. And then add the rest of the milk and cream. Now we need to transfer this to a saucepan on medium-high heat. So we're heating the mixture and whisking all the time. When it's thickened, we'll take it off the heat and add the cold butter. Alright, that's all the butter in. That actually looks fantastic. So, we'll have a little taste. Oh my, there's nothing wrong with that. So we need to let that cool down quite a lot, and then we can assemble the slices. Now I'm going to put it all together. So you want your dish, your tin, or whatever you're going to make it in. Just cut around. And pop your pastry in. Obviously I need to trim it a little bit more because I cut the outside size, not the inside size. We need to cut the pastry for the top as well. Right, yeah, there's one thing I do need to do before I put the base pastry in, is just put some greaseproof paper in, because this will be like a handle so it can lift it out after it's baked, after it's set. Alright, I just need to fill this with custard. Okay, I'm going to leave that to cool down some more, and then pop the lid on and put it in the fridge overnight to set. Okay, in the fridge. See you tomorrow. Okay, it's the next day. Everything is nice and cool and set and lovely. So I'm going to take that out of the tin. Not tin. I'm going to remove that. Ooh. And straighten up the edges. Right, that's more or less square, so I'm just going to finish it off with a dusting of icing sugar, confectioner's sugar. Now I'm going to cut this into rectangles, probably 8. So one cut down the middle. And then the other way. And then another one. This is quite delicate. See the lamination of the puff pastry is breaking down, which is a posh way of saying it's falling apart. Right, there we go. Possibly not the neatest things ever, but I'm very, very pleased with those. So I've got 8 slices and quite a bit left over from the edges. So, yeah. And now, it's taste test time with Mrs. KeefCooks. What are you laughing at?
Oh, I'm just wondering how you're so warm, because it's cold.
Got my thermal top on.
Ah. There you go.
You didn't need to know that.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, death by egg, vanilla, custard slice thing.
What a way to go.
Knife.
Aren't you supposed to lift it delicately with one pinky extended and
You
take
can.
a girt bite out of it?
A girt bite.
A girt bite. Hang on. Special forkies.
It's not big enough.
Right, I'm going to do this from your side so you can see what happens. Look at this. So we're supposed to have coffee or champagne or something with this?
Well, tea.
Oh,
I haven't made it. So.
that is wicked.
I know. It really is. Disgraceful.
Oh man, this is homemade custard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh man. See, I just thought...
Homemade by me, and I can't make custard.
No, I just thought it was going to be cream and like, I don't like cream. Then I just thought, oh, it's going to be rich and whatnot, and it's... Nom! Yeah.
It's rich. So, you know, people talk about plain vanilla, and I don't know why, because there's nothing plain about it at all. It's just, it's gorgeous. I love it.
But it's got to be proper vanilla.
Well, it isn't.
Oh, as you got yours from Madagascar personally, didn't you? I've seen the bottle. It says it's Madagascar.
That got used. Well, Madagascan vanilla bean paste.
So we have to turn the camera off soon because otherwise you're going to see him starting at that end and me starting at this end. Us working through and meeting in the middle.
No.
And if there's no video next week, it's because we died.
Could be. Okay, so thanks for watching, and make it. And
It's really nice. I thought it was going to be all sort of crispy, flaky. Again, that thing, you know when you eat baklava and it all explodes in different directions?
yeah, I fixed it so I didn't do that.
What's
Okay.
not to like?
Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Get off.
You've had that, pal.